Okay, good afternoon everyone. So with respect to our last class, we have already got into this particular section that's called out quality management. Okay, so with respect to quality management, we have come across to know how important a quality plays a role whenever we are speaking about a respective product there. Okay, so with respect to quality, we have come across with, we have got to know with different quality attributes there. Okay, so there were something around, we have discussed around some 15 quality attributes there. So followed up with that, what's the process which is which we discuss or else which we say whenever I say regarding this term called as quality there. Okay, that's a process based quality. So what do I do is, the very first one is I define the process. Okay, so when I define the process, okay, after I define the process, according to this particular process I develop the product. Okay, so when I am developing a product, I'll be at the same time I'll be improving that process also. So how I'll be improving it is, I'll come across a trace of this later. Okay, you define the process, you develop the product. Okay, once the product has been developed, you assess the product quality there. Okay, when you assess the product quality, okay, so after that you come across, assessing is nothing but you are judging regarding the product quality there. Okay, so when you judge or else when you assess regarding that particular product quality there, so there are two forms which can happen there. Okay, that is, we will be checking across with quality okay there. Okay, either it is yes or else either it is no. Okay, if it is X, if it is yes, I standardize this particular process whatever has went so far. Okay, if at all it's a no, okay, so I go across with the improvement of that particular process there. I go across with the improvement of that process. So when I improve the things there, okay, so I improve, it can be in terms of requirements, it can be in terms of design, or else it can be in terms of analysis there. Okay, so I do a improvement in that, then I develop the product there. So this is a process based quality there. Okay, so wherein it goes across from the section starting across from defining of a process till I standardize my particular process there. Okay, so this is your process based quality there. So followed up with that, I have some software standards whenever I am maintaining or else whenever I am discussing regarding this particular process there. So what are those? So that is when I say standards. So what are these standards? Standards are nothing but which define the required attributes of a product or process there. Okay, they play a very important role in quality management. Standards may be, there are different types of standards which are coming across. It can be international, national, organizational, or else project standards there. Okay, there are all different sections of standards there. So followed up with that, you have two types of standards which we are discussing here. One is called out as product standards and one more is called out as process standards. Okay, so what do you mean by this product? Product standards are nothing but it applies to the software product being developed there. Okay, they include document standards such as the structure of requirements document, documentation standards such as a standard comment header for object class definition, and coding standards there. Okay, which define how a programming language should be used. Okay, that is all regarding product standards there. Whereas I have process standards. What are these? These define the processes that should be followed during the software development. Okay, process standards may include definitions of process goes across as the your SDLC goes across. Okay, so your SDLC goes accordingly as specification, design, implementation. Okay, then validation of a process. Okay, process support tools and a description of the documents. Okay, that should be written during these processes are nothing but which we call it across as a process standard. Okay, so followed out. These are two variations which we divide. One is based on the product. I divide the standardization applied for a product, and one more I divide it based on the process under which I am taking care of that particular work. Okay, so if at all it's a product standards, what all we do is I design the review form, requirements, document structure can be looked across. Okay, that's a one more standard which has been maintained. Method header format there, Java programming style, project plan format, then change request form. So these all are with respect to this product standards there. Okay, one more I have with respect to process standards. So what are these process standards now? So process standards are design of review conduct there, submission of new code for system building, version release process, then project plan approval process, change control process, then test recording process. So these are all the things which are being discussed with respect to your process standards. Okay. So followed up with that, there is one section which are coming across in this quality management, and that's called out as reviews and inspections there. Okay, so reviews and inspections are nothing but a group of examines part or else all of a process or a system and its documentation to find the potential problems there. Okay, a group is there, so it examines these all things there. Okay, documentation to find a particular potential problem of a system there. Okay, software or documents may be signed off at a review, which signifies that progress to the next development stage has been approved by the management there. Okay, so that is an signed document will be there. Okay, so based on that you will be going across with the inspections there. Okay, there are different types of review with different objectives there. Okay, if I am taking inspection for defect removal, I will be calling it across as a product standard. Okay, so reviews for progress assessments. So whenever progress is looked across for a respective product, software product, so ultimately I say it as a review for progress assessment there. That is with respect to product and process metrics there. Okay, then one more is quality reviews, that is on your product and standards there. Okay, wherein I'll be looking across with the things there. Okay, so followed up with that, so if I'm speaking about a review, okay, so whenever I say review, there are three sections which are concentrated with respect to the phase of the review process there. One is called out as before I am conducting that review, that is called out as pre-review. One more is during that particular meeting, review meeting, and one more is post-review. Okay, so pre-review are nothing but it tells you the prerequisites, the preparation, the planning, whatever is required for that particular review to be conducted there. Okay, then review meeting tells you that an author of the document or program being reviewed should walk through the document with the review team there. Okay, walk through is nothing but you are going through those respective persons who are handling that work there. Okay, so that is during the review meeting there. Then comes is the third categorization, which I call it across as post-review activities. What are these post-review activities? These address the problems and issues that have been raised in the review meetings. What all conclusion you are coming across in this review meeting, so those are all discussed across in this post-review activities there. Okay, so you can just go across with the software review process there. So these are your pre-review activities. Okay, so this is your review meeting, then this is with your post-review activities there. Okay, pre-review activities are planning, group preparation, so these all I consider it as pre-review activities, else individual preparation, all of them togetherly I take it across as a feed from pre-review and I go across with the review meeting there. Once the review meeting is conducted, after that what will happen is we come across with some conclusions. So what are those conclusions? It can be error corrections, improvement. Okay, then if at all after this error correction I have again looked across with the process, I see that there should be some follow-ups for those respective checks whatever are happening there. So follow-up checkup process has been done across. So that is with your software review process there. Okay, so followed up with that is your inspection there. Okay, so whenever I am conducting an inspection, so the checklist of common errors should be used to drive the inspection there. Okay, errors checklist are programming languages dependent and reflect the characteristic errors that are likely to arise in the language there. In general, the weaker the type checking, the larger the checklist. Okay, examples are initialization, constant naming, loop termination, array bounds, etc. Okay, so if at all I am speaking across with the inspection list there are two types of inspection lists which you are coming across. One is with data faults. Okay, one more is control faults, one more is input output faults. Okay, so else it can be interface faults, storage management faults, exception management faults. So there are in all 6 different fault class which have been discussed. Data faults are nothing but whether all the program variables are initialized before the values are used or no, whether the constants are being named properly or no, should the upper bound of arrays be equal to the size of the array or size minus 1 or no, if the character strings are used, is a delimiter explicitly assigned, then is there any possibility of a buffer overflow. Okay, for each conditional statement, is the condition correct, is each loop certain to be terminated, are computed statements correctly bracketed, in case statements are all possible cases accounted for. Okay, if a break is required after each case in case statement has it been included or not. Okay, so these are all the things what you are looking across as a faults there, that is with respect to data faults and control faults. Okay, one more I have across with input output faults there. So input output faults are whether all the input variables are used, okay, whether whatever output variables I have assigned, whether they are used or no, whether they are being declared before being used or no. Can unexpected inputs cause corruption or what? Okay. Yes, it can be interface faults or nothing but whatever function method calls are there, do they have correct number of parameters or no? Okay. Else whatever kind of a look I am waiting for a front end creation of my particular program or else my application, so is it been fulfilled or what? Do formal and actual parameter types match there? Okay, are the parameters in the right order in what it was being sent or is what it is being sent across, okay, and it has been received. If the components assess the shared memory, do they have some model for that particular shared memory or what? Okay, storage management faults are nothing but are you using dynamic storage? Okay, if at all the dynamic storage is used, has the space been allocated correctly or what? Okay, is space explicitly deallocated after it is no longer being required? Okay, if the linked structure is modified, whether all the links have been correctly reassigned. So these are all the things which you are looking across in storage management faults there. Okay, and the last one is exception management faults. So wherein you are looking across for all possible error condition being taken into account that. Okay, exceptions are truly an exception of happening, but even then such kind of exception cases are being considered and are being looked across as the management faults there. Okay, so this is with respect to that section. Okay, so in my next class I will tell you regarding this software measurement. Okay, thank you.